Hey everyone, Alex coming at you with another video. Today's going to be another Ultraman Zero podcast. Let's begin. So, in this podcast, we have Masura and adfstuff, and we're pretty much going to be giving our thoughts on the character Ultraman Zero. But first, let's just give a brief overview about the character himself. Ultraman Zero originally appeared in the movie Mega Monster Ultra Galaxy Legends. It is seen that Ultraman Zero is the son of Ultra 7. However, at a very young age, he tried to steal the power of the Plasma Spark. This caused him to be cast away from the Land of Light by the Ultra brothers. Ultraman Zero would later be trained by one of the most powerful Ultras, Ultraman Leo. During his time of training with Ultraman Leo, the great Ultraman Belial or Ultraman Belial would return and wreak havoc against the other Ultras of Light. Ultraman Zero, with his newly found power and abilities, would manage to defeat Ultraman Belial multiple times during their battles. Ultraman Zero, since this time period of Mega Monster Ultra Galaxy Legend, has appeared in numerous other series, movies, and side stories of his own. He's appeared in Mega Monster Ultra Galaxy Legend, Ultraman Zero The Dark Cloth side story, Ultraman Zero Revenge of Belial, Ultraman Saga, Ultra Zero Fight. He's also appeared in Ultraman Ginga S, the movie. He's appeared in Ultraman X the movie, Ultraman Orb, and Ultra Fight Orb. And he's also going to be reappearing in Ultraman Gate. So, what did you guys think about Ultraman Zero as a character?
Alex, do you want to go first?
Alright, yeah, sure, I'll go first. So, overall, I really like the character of Ultraman Zero. I think he's a very interesting character, especially when I first got into Ultraman. To just describe my personal experience with Ultraman Zero, by the time I had seen the movie, I believe I had already seen the original Ultraman and Ultraman Tiga. And at that time, I believe I was watching Ultraman Max or Mebius. And I remember watching the Mega Monster Ultra Galaxy Legend movie on YouTube. And the whole time I was watching it, I just was honestly I thought it was a great movie at the time when I watched it for the very first time or the first couple of times. It definitely gave me a better understanding of what the Land of Light looked like. Because at that time I hadn't seen the Ultraman story movie because, again, I was relatively new to the Ultraman franchise at the time of watching the movie on YouTube. And then once I saw Ultraman Zero, I honestly thought he was a really great Ultra. He was honestly my favorite Ultraman for a relatively short period of time just because of how powerful he was and because he was related to Ultra 7, which I thought was a really neat concept. Ultraman Zero started to fade away from my favorite Ultra, relatively years and years ago, just because I realized that such a character can honestly be my favorite, especially when he's already good at everything. Sure, Ultraman Zero does suffer from setbacks, but overall he's an extremely powerful character that doesn't really suffer from many flaws. He's arrogant, he's very powerful, and he's very nice to watch in battle, but at the same time, he's a bit too unflawed in my opinion. And I don't want to go on for too long, but that's pretty much my general basis of what I thought about Zero.
Um,
In my
in my
opinion,
opinion, sorry, you want to go
I,
first?
I talk now, please. In my opinion, I think Ultraman Zero is the most perfect Ultraman ever. When I first see Ultraman Jack, Ultraman 8, 7, and maybe it's the Max, I see Zero in Ultra Galaxy movie. Though I think Galaxy movie, it, I really hate Galaxy movie because all the Ultras I watch and I grew up lose to Billy so easily. I think Zero appearing in the Billy is kind of really weird, but I think I kind of understand. Tobias in that time wanted to do a villain, a really powerful villain, this Delio, and a really powerful. One thing I really hate in this guy, it's this guy appear in so many things. Like he appeared in Ultra Galaxy movie, his own movie, Ultraman Zero vs Dark Club Zero, Ultra Ultraman. Oh, he mods himself. He appeared in He appeared in Ultra Zero Fight, Ultraman X movie, Ultraman Ginga X movie. He appeared in Orb movie. He appeared in Ultra Fight Orb. So I think it's kind of really annoying because Zero appeared in a lot of things. It's not be supposed to be that because I don't know. It's just so stupid. Super it should be used more. You know like Ultraman Max, Ultraman Mebius, but it's kind of really tedious to see Zero appearing again over and over again. It's kind of really annoying.
Uh,
So you go now.
I have to agree with Masura. He has appeared in way too much. We have had more than enough Zero. He's appeared in loads of movies, made appearances in different TV shows, and again, he's going to be one of the main characters in Geed. And there's just like so many other ultras out there that deserve so much more attention, and instead we just keep getting him again and again and again. Like for Geed, we could have had Dinah because it's his 20th anniversary. He clearly cares a lot about humans because he threw himself into a black hole to protect them. So it would make a lot more sense for him to be a mentor figure, since Zero is supposed to be more of a cocky, arrogant ultra. And something that I find kind of ironic. Sorry, Cameron.
I did. You think Ultraman Zero is the most strong Ultra ever?
No, I'd have to say Noah or King. But I guess he is one of the most powerful, which does kind of make sense because he is the son of Ultra 7, who was a very powerful Ultra and was trained by Leo, who again was a very powerful Ultra. But
you think Zero is more strong than Leo and Ultra 7?
Possibly.
I think Zero is the most perfect Ultra ever because he's kind of he lose, but he's one and appeared in X series in X movie. He's actually doesn't lose any battles. So I think Ultraman Zero should be lose one of battles too because
Yeah,
win
one thing that I find kind of ironic about him is that he's basically become the new Ultra 7, who is, as mentioned before, his father. Because before Ultra 7, he'd had 3 of his own TV shows. He'd appeared twice in The Return of Ultraman, while the original Ultraman only appeared once. He appeared a lot of times in Ace, and I believe in Toro as well. He appeared in the first 40 episodes of Leo in his human form. There was Delusion Ultra 7 in Ultraman 80, and then I'm not sure if Ultraman Mebius counts because all the Ultra Brothers were in it, but now his own son seems to have taken center stage to him.
I think it's a reproduction. I think it's a reproduction. Ultraman Zero is gonna second most popular Ultraman ever because his father is the most popular Ultra ever. So it makes a lot of sense to guys want to Zero is the second popular Ultraman. I think it makes a lot of sense.
I don't know if I'd say that Ultra 7 is the most powerful Ultra ever, but he's definitely up there. So, like you said, it just makes sense for Zero to be so powerful.
In my opinion, Ultra 7 is not too powerful because he's losing Ultraman. He's losing in Ultraman Leo, but Magman and Hero Bros. He's losing in Ultra. No, in that movie, I think I but Ultra 7 too powerful.
Something I just wanted to say real quick is that I think the reason why Zero appears so much is because he is a very marketable Ultraman. I think a lot of kids in the current generation that we live in would most likely be excited to see Ultraman Zero, in contrast to an Ultra like Ultraman Ace or Ultraman Nice or Great, where they're so obscure that a child probably wouldn't really relate to the character. Whereas with Ultraman Zero, they've appeared so much that if a little kid were to see them again, they might get excited because it might be their favorite Ultraman. And I think Subaru Productions takes that into consideration, so that's probably why Zero appears so much. It's because probably a lot of kids in Japan find him to be their favorite Ultras just because he's so strong and such.
So you think after Ultraman G series, you think Ultraman Zero is gonna not appeal again so soon?
I honestly can't say, but I mean, every time I see Zero, I mean, I'm a bit excited because Zero always brings out some of the best choreographed fights, in my opinion. If you look at the fights such as Ultraman Zero and Darklops Zero, or Ultraman Zero and Telger, or Ultraman Zero when he fought when he fought Ultraman Belial, I think the fights are really well choreographed because Ultraman Zero, when you compare him to his Showa counterparts or any other Ultraman, the other Ultras are really slower paced, whereas Ultraman Zero is a very fast paced character.
Yes, that is one thing I do like about him, as well as his design. And as a lot of other people have said, he is cocky and arrogant, which I do like, and also makes him, like I said, not a very suitable choice to be a mentor.
Well, I actually want to contrast that idea. So, do you mind if I give my reason why I'm against that idea?
Yeah, sure.
Well, you must consider that Ultraman Belial is the main villain of Ultraman Geed, and Ultraman Dyna doesn't really have much of a relation with Ultraman Belial. That's like if you were to make Ultraman Tiga become the enemy of fake Dyna. It just wouldn't make sense because they're not exactly rivals, you know.
I guess
I honestly see Zero going better with this series because Ultraman Zero and Ultraman Belial have had such a long rivalry. It's almost like Batman and the Joker instead of Superman and the Joker. It just wouldn't really make a lot of sense.
I guess that does.
The
I guess
most
you do have a good point about that, but I still think he'd probably work better as, say, a partner than just a mentor. Sorry, Masura, what are you going to say?
the most pretty obvious here is Ultraman G. I care about super production. It's actually because Ultraman Orbital Thunder Brister for one. Because I think when Super production see Ultraman Orbital Thunder Brister, I think Super think of in create another Ultraman. There's the full relaction of this form. So I think that's because Ultraman failure are returning Ultraman Need. I think that's because Ultraman Zero purely over it, and I think that's the reason of the Ultraman Zero failure. That's because I think that's for the Ultra the pressure out.
Um,
Anyone?
Now, another thing that I do actually really like about Zero is how he is Seven's son, because an Ultra being the son of another Ultra is something we have never really seen before then, and we haven't really seen it ever after, up until now, with Guy being the son of Belial or Belial, whatever you want to call him.
So Alex, you think Ultraman Shido are created because Ultraman or kind of Brista?
Probably, but here was another reason why I liked Zero as the mentor. It's something that adfstuff actually brought up because of the fact that Ultraman Geed is the son of Ultraman Belial, and Ultraman Zero overall has a better rivalry with Ultraman Belial, and he's the son of another famous Ultraman. I feel as though Ultraman Geed would be able to relate better with Ultraman Zero, as both of them, as Ultraman Zero is relatively young and not old, whereas Ultraman Dyna at this point I'd like to say is a lot older than Zero. Also, real quick about the topic is that I really liked how Zero is being the mentor because, in fact, whenever you looked at Zero in his early appearances, he was always the underdog. You know, I'm sure he was really powerful, but when he first appeared and fought Ultraman Belial, he was really the underdog because he was such a young Ultraman, and because of the fact that in his earlier appearances he was also trained by Leo and Seven. So over the course of these months and years, you get to see how Zero as a character transitions from not being the student, but being the mentor and the teacher to the future Ultras, which is something that I honestly thought was a great kind of development for the character overall for Zero.
Now, one thing I do kind of like about this whole Zero being the mentor is something that Ryan Zeton brought up in his podcast about Ultraman Geed. It's kind of like passing the torch because Seven trained Leo and Leo trained Zero, and now Zero is training Geed.
I mean, I honestly don't mind Ultraman Zero. I mean, apparently it's just everyone else who doesn't want to see him appear, but honestly, I'm not really complaining about his appearances.
I think he's good as an Ultra. Like I said, he's got a nice design and character, but we've been getting too much of him recently. I mean, he's even got his own show now, which is just a shamble together of different scenes from other Ultraman shows and movies with him appearing, which is really annoying.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
It's because Ultraman Zero is the poster boy for Super Eye Productions.
But like his first movie, I thought was good. Ninja Belial I thought was alright, and Ultraman Saga was one of my favourite Ultraman movies of all time. But it was, but still, it was just like 3 movies is in just 3 years is ridiculous.
I agree with that. So a lot of Ultra series kind of do are like you know 2 years. So Ultraman Zero is like it's like Ultraman Zero is like more than that. He 20, 29, 20, 20, 25. Oh, I Ultraman Zero has the most time of all of any Ultraman ever did.
Yeah, like he's only been around for what, like 7 years, and already he's overtaken both the original Ultraman and Ultra 7.
Yeah, I think that's because Ultraman Zero doesn't have a series. I think that's the reason.
Maybe so, but even still, like he's had 3 of his own movies, 2 side stories, I think. And in Ginga S, he was also a mentor to Shu and whoever the host for Ginga is. I forgot his name. Yeah, Hikari. And again, he's going to be the mentor in Geed. And it's just like, there's so many other Ultras out there that deserve a lot more attention and love, like Max, or again Mebius, because he was trained by the Ultra Brothers, so it would make sense to have him as a mentor.
Ultraman Mebius is not a good appear so soon because the actor of Mebius are retired.
I mean, sure, but like, surely they could just get a new voice actor, because they've done it before in Ultraman and even in Kamen Rider, at least in a lot of the Showa movies anyway.
So in Ultraman X movie, that's for sure because Ultraman Tiga's actor I retired too. Then the Ultraman X movie, Ultraman Tiga doesn't have he don't talk in Ultraman X. So I think super production should be to do the same thing of Mebius. Should be to use Ultraman Mebius, but it's not for talk. Anyone agree with that?
Um, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So, thank you all for watching. Alex, you want to end it?
No, you can end it off if you want.
Okay, so, thank you all for watching. By the way, you should really check out my channel, please. I need the views. Yeah, and I don't really have anything else to say.